Okay, good morning. Today is October 13th, 2023, in front of my house. Just want to do a little extra on the video here of the car before it goes up for sale. And then I'll go through the gears and drive the car in another video. So I believe in full disclosure. I got nothing to hide. Obviously, opinions vary on different types of ratings on cars, scale of 1 to 10. So first and foremost, this is one of 30 cars built according to the Dune Buggy Handbook, an original 1969 Renegade. I personally set the tires on the Dune Buggies at 15, 14 in the front and right at 20 in the rear. When you go in the sand, if you want to go in the sand, you're going to obviously drop those down to about 3, drop those down to about 8. For the road, anything more than 18, 20, in my opinion, is too rough of a ride. So I have them set that way. Going over the entire car now, if you wanted to rate the entire car, from top to bottom, including piece by piece of tires, motor, transmission, interior, paint, body, exhaust, I would give the car, as it sits right now, a solid 7, 7.5 out of a 10. Is this a show car? By no means, it is not a show car. Is this a trailer queen? No. Could this be a trailer queen or a show car? Absolutely. With a little bit of time, money, and effort, you can make this thing wicked. This is a driver's car. It is fun to go on the backwoods trails, drive up and down the street. Take it to your local car show for the Volkswagen Dune Buggy enthusiasts. You will never find another Renegade. Like I said, there's only 30 of them here in the United States that were built. I don't know how many that are on the roads. So, the paint job, it is a very nice paint job. It does have its typical little scratches and blemishes like anything. Like I said, I believe in full disclosure. I got nothing to hide. I can point out every little minuscule little paint chip like right here. The thing that I wanted to touch on, this is the way I got the car. I put this in the ad. There are two things. So there's a tiny little crack right here that can be filled with filler or Bondo. This one is right. I think they had to do this. This is the way I got the car, but this is just a paint chip crack. I mean, there's nothing here that's structurally coming apart. That's why I took the license plate off, just to show, and then I will show what it looks like with the license plate, so people know, like again, I have nothing to hide. So when you put the license plate back on, it lines up absolutely perfect. You won't really see this one. Yeah, you can see that one with a little bit of paint touch up. I mean, you can go to Checker or O'Reilly's. This might be, competition orange of some sort, but I don't have anything to hide. I went over the entire car the way that I got it. I put all brand new spark plugs the other day, NGKs. I prefer NGKs. You have to be careful because there's 3 different types of spark plugs for these. Obviously 14 millimeter, 13 millimeter. Making sure you get the right spark plugs. I like NGKs. A lot of them are already pre-gapped. The gap on these, depending on who you talk to, some people say 26, some people say 28, between 24 and 28. I gap mine at 26 if they are not pre-gapped. I make sure that all spark plugs are gapped accordingly. Even if they say they're pre-gapped, I just double check. So I put 4 brand new NGKs. I put also brand new spark plug wires, as you can see right there. It does have a brand new a brand new fuel filter right there with a new fuel line. And the only thing that I got incorrect, which I want to make sure that I add, is I do have a Solex carburetor. This is an empty carburetor, so I misspoke on the video tutorial. I apologize. It is an empty carburetor, as you can see right there. And then if I can go down in the corners, it tells you, but it's an empty, as you can see. So again, empty carburetor. So if you have any questions about anything, if you want to stop by and take it for a spin, we can hop in it, we can cruise up there. I told the general public in the video tutorial, the way the car sits, you can drive it right now. What I would personally do for me if I was going to keep it, depending on your budget. So if you just wanted to go and let's just say right now, make it where the paint pops, depending on your area because of COVID and the prices are sky high. This shouldn't cost you more than $200 for a full detail, which is pretty high in my opinion because it's a small car, it's 80 inches, there's no top. And what I mean for a full detail, that is a buff, polish, cut, wax, full detail, interior, putting on the, vinyl leather conditioner, doing all the side panels, doing the wheels, undercoating, trying to get into the motor with degreaser. You just have to make sure that you're very adamant about having them, number one, cover the distributor, make sure the car's cold. That's the only thing that's really gonna do damage, is put a plastic bag or something down there. You can take the license plate off and cover up the distributor. The exhaust and stuff like that, someone put some degreaser. But in my area in Sedona, I live in a more expensive area. It really shouldn't cost you more than $200 here. You could probably get it done somewhere for about 150 is about right to do a full, cut, buff, polish, wax, like I said, head to toe detail. So let's just call it $200. Okay, that's what I would do. The next thing that I would do, you don't have to, is when I put in the video tutorial, my suggestion is I'm not a fan of those MP trigger shifters. I don't like the way they look anymore. I think if you really wanted to make the car pop, it reduces the throw, is the black Mambas, like I've already told in the video. They used to be $300. Now they're $340, $350. You could probably buy them, or maybe get a Gene Berg original locked out keyed shifter. Those are very, very hard to find. If you wanted to go on a little bit cheaper, you can go with the Pro Scat drag fast shifter. Those used to be about $80. Now they're about 150. But I think the black Mamba would look absolutely great in this car. You can look it up. So that's about $330. Let's go on the high end at $200. So let's just call it, $550. So you're at $550. Doing a pedal assembly, you can get a roller, like I said, right there for $10 from MP. Those pedals are fine. The clutch works, the brake pedal works, the gas pedal works. If you wanted to put like the little beach foot covers there, they're like $10 on eBay, so it looks like you're just barefoot for the pedals. Dan's Performance Parts, Jamar, MP, what's the other one? Latest Rage makes a knockoff of the CNCs and the Neil pedals. You could probably pick up the Latest Rage chrome pedal assembly for about $150. If you wanted like black, the Jamars or Willwoods, you're probably in the neighborhood about $300. So you're at $550. Again, if you just wanted to make the car pop, that's the only reason I prefer the chrome Jamars or MPs. Let's call it another $250. It's real simple, dual CNCs. Then you can go to hydraulic clutch and hydraulic brake, which is super, super nice. Comes with dual master cylinders, makes it easier to shift. So $250. So, at 550 plus 250. So now you're at $800. If you are anywhere, electrical inclined, mechanically inclined, I guess you can take it to Best Buy or an Audio Express or a stereo shop. You can get a regular, MP3 player or your iPod, or if you wanted to go full crazy and do navigation, all that stuff, you get like a CD player, a receiver. You can pick one of those up for $50 all the way to $600. You don't have to go crazy. A set of 5 1/4 kickers or Alpines on both sides, and then you can actually go with 6x9s. If you went with something decent, halfway decent, you can pick up a set of kickers, usually on sale right around Black Friday in November or right before Christmas, for about $70, $80. Even getting an open box set of speakers that someone returned from, Best Buy or Amazon, depending on how much money you wanted to really, really spend. So let's just call it $80 for the front, and 6x9s, we'll call it another 120. So you're at 200. So you're basically $1,000 right there for the speakers without the deck. If you put in a deck, depending on the receiver, $200 with a $200 amp. So you're at 400 bucks. So I think now we're at 1,400 bucks. You know, if you wanted to do something where you took it to an upholstery shop and either had them put some carpet down or do some nice carpeting there on the side pods. You can also get the molded side pods down below if you wanted to do 6 speakers. So you can do, you know, right there in the kicker panels, 2 on the side right there and 2 right there, a set of amps. If you took it to an upholstery shop and let's just say you wanted to do the snaps, I'm not familiar on how to do them. I know you got to drill them and make a top. They do make the tops usually. I think they're called TJ Customs. There were the sombrero tops, but you can take this to an upholstery shop. I got another 4-seater Manx in there. That's my personal car that has a top. But you know, at 1,400 bucks, you could probably have someone make you a top. 400 bucks installed. That's probably, you know, a good week's worth of work to make it match with some orange piping here to make it somewhat pop, you know, coming with the double stitched. That's what I would recommend just to make it match. So, you know, you're roughly 1,400 bucks, 1,500 bucks if you wanted to go all out. Now then, like I talked about in the video before, you can do, you know, the motor swaps. You can go ahead and pull this motor and sell it, put a Subaru, which would be awesome. You know, it sounds wicked, get your exhaust, which would be like 200 bucks. Or you can just cruise it. But I believe in full disclosure, I got nothing to hide. I pride myself on being honest. You can see in my feedback, I have 0 complaints. Everything on the car is ready to go. It draws a ton of attention. If you want to go in the sand, you'll be fine in the sand. I mean, you're not going to win any type of races unless you do a motor swap with either a Subaru or an Ecotec in the sand. But this is great to go to parades, you know, take the kids up and down the road. You can usually put a bench, a lot of times Jeep Renegades, just like the car here, or the Jeep Wranglers or the Rubicons. You can get the factory bench right there and do that. Pretty simple. Have that upholstered to match the entire car. And then, you know, if you wanted to get a little bit more crazy, like I said, hey, if $2,000 is your budget, you know, hey, maybe some orange underglow neon. Check your local laws for, you know, if it's acceptable. Here in Arizona, they really don't care. And then, you know, this is more like a Euro race steering wheel. You can change the hub. I would probably recommend, for me, if you want to go a little bit smaller, or you can put like a chrome one on. The only downfall, if you live in a hot area like I do in Arizona, chrome in the summertime, I mean, it's going to burn your hands. You're going to need gloves. But you can pick up a, you know, wooden steering wheel for, you know, 60, 70 bucks. You know, Grant GT steering wheel from any of the O'Reillys, AutoZones, Checkers, stuff like that. And then the last thing is, I just don't like these intakes. I don't. I'm just being honest. You know, if you can get like a Scad or maybe a Delorto or a Weber, but that's cool, you know. And then another thing just to think about, if you wanted to, what you could do is with the rear seat here at Upholsterous, you can actually have them probably do like a faux tonneau cover. So maybe just do it right here or right here, or just use this as storage. You know, take this to someone to have a flipped up storage compartment for your cooler. You know, if you want to put any type of, like I said, amplifiers, I'd probably put the amplifiers, at least one there or one there. And like I said, the 6x9s, or if you didn't want speakers there, if you have kids, I can recommend a lot of good things. I can recommend, you know, the suspension seats if you want to do that. Other than that, like I said, you know, please feel free to stop by, inspect the car, send out, you know, an appraiser. You're never going to find another Volkswagen Renegade. They are impossible to find. This is your opportunity to own one. Like I said, it's going to draw a ton of attention. It's perfect if you want to show your kids how to drive, if they're not familiar how to drive a stick shift, if you want to show your grandkids. You know, I don't know if I'd really want a 16-year-old maybe taking this to school, like high school, because you just don't want people to really destroy it. You know how kids are. I was 16 once, we all were. So other than that, if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to stop by. We have all the necessary craftsmen's down here in Arizona that everyone brings their car to. I can recommend, you know, Matt at Deluxe. If you wanted to change the paint color, I can take it to him, and then you can just pay him. I can take it to Dan at Competition Engineering if you want to go with a full blown out stroker motor. You know, Don's Bus Box, Fred over there in Peoria. We got Fodwell Motorsports. We got Side by Side Addicts down here. We have Kaiser Brothers down here. We have, you know, Shock Therapy down here. So all the people that come from all over the United States to do their motors, suspension work, Volkswagen, we have literally the top guys in the world. We also have all the transaxle specialists with Bill Capatch from Arizona Transaxle, Rich Roberts from Action Performance. He does transaxles, and then Kevin McKillen. So if you wanted to go full blown, you know, you can put, the sky's the limit here, I guess. If you wanted to put a Porsche motor or a Corvette motor, a V8, the only thing that I would not recommend is, I've had one and I'm not a fan, is the Corvairs. I think they're just a waste. But yeah, if you have any questions, again, I know I've repeated myself. Everything's ready to go. The bolt-on Chevy, bolt-on empty valve covers. I'll make sure everything's ready to go for you. If you have any questions, you need the carburetor set to your elevation. I'm over about 4,400 feet above sea level here in Sedona. I can recommend shippers. I do have a tow bar that you can buy with this if you wanted to just tow it and pick it up, depending on where you live. I wouldn't recommend that, only if you bring a spare tire, just depending on your distance. If you're going to California or Las Vegas or somewhere close, like probably under 300 or 400 miles. You know, if you're going to Florida from my house, you know, 2,000 miles, the only problem is let's just say you hit something in the road, you don't have a spare tire. That's the only reason I don't like the tow bars, unless you bring a spare tire or a patch kit. But I have all the necessary contacts for any type of shipper. If you need it, I leave it in my garage here in my lift in the back there, as you saw, so it's secured. And then please feel free, again, I know I've repeated myself, to reach out to me. Thank you and good luck.